All right, guys. 7 o'clock. Chapters 14, 15, and 16 tonight, if we can make it through all of them. We'll see. It's been many years since I read this, and I'm wondering how much more information can he dig into and get in more depth about, and it's just amazing. Yeah, so that's where we're going tonight. And I haven't had any jokesters or anything try to contact me during that little experiment we did from the last meetup. Nothing weird happened to me. So if anybody wants to talk about that, if something strange happened to themselves, they want to share, go ahead. But nothing new with me. Just still enjoying my gateway programs, messing around with those. Hi, Susan.
Hi. Hi.
What's new?
Oh, let's see. Not much. I'm doing light meditation, just trying to do some a meditation that was suggested to me, um, and so I've been sticking with that pretty much. And I thought about what you said the other night about let's invite a trickster or whatever, see what we've got. I thought, well, I'm probably the jokester of my whole probably am it. But I laid there. It was before I went to sleep, and I lay there thinking about it. I thought, who would, and then I just try to shut off everything I'm thinking and let anything happen that's going to happen to me at night. And I was lying there, and I became aware that my thought processes are strange anyway. They're not like they used to be. My dreams, nothing are like they used to be. In the last couple of years, everything has changed for me. um, but I was aware that I could, in my mind's eye, I was seeing this. It looked like a crystal pipe, like a glass crystal pipe, about probably about this big around, maybe about 3 or 4 inches in diameter. That it just seemed to run through my head and up through me. I've seen this before. I've seen it one time before when I was watching somebody perform a healing session. So I know that we have this kind of thing, whatever this is. Um, maybe it's the energy, the way energy runs through us or something. But when I saw that, I understood that my thought processes had changed. My thought had changed, and it looked like this thing was covered with all of these little beads, or like droplets of, looked like water, or they were tiny little things, and they were. And so I'm hearing this voice say, "No, these are your thoughts. Watch what they do." And they were organizing themselves. They were moving around this thing, and right, they were moving up. They were moving up it, but it was this organization to it that I can't even describe. I don't even know what they were. I would have had to touch each one of them to know what they were. This is so strange. I shouldn't even brought it up. It's very strange, but it was amazing. It was just amazing to feel my thought processes working in this way, that and feel them as a unit, an organized unit, and like they were moving. They're moving upward, but there's a pattern to it. It was strange. It was very strange. And that was after I laid there, and I thought, I wonder if I can connect. Let me connect with another part of myself. And this is what happened. That was all I experienced. It was very strange. It was pleasant, but it's really strange.
And is that something new, Susan? A new
That was
experience?
new. That was
Yeah.
something that I haven't experienced before, like that. I
Yeah.
haven't experienced that before. But it was very pleasant. It was very pleasant, and I have been doing this little meditation, just just to try to. Whenever I think about it during the day, just go into this little meditative state, just for a couple of minutes if I can. And you can always tell when you step up your meditation, or your practices. You can always tell things change, shift a little bit, and start to move. Then, yeah, and
Right.
that's what it felt like. It was cool. It was
Yeah.
interesting to me. I'll probably never see anything like that again. But it was very interesting.
Thanks, Susan.
Yeah.
Hi, Marty. What's new?
Oh,
What's new over there?
well, you know what? I was surfing around on YouTube, and there was you, Juice, back. And it was a going way back. You were doing a thing called I guess a Robert Bruce book, Mastering Astral Travel.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
uh, tr- traveling or doing OBE in 90 days, you in a group, and you were the moderator, no beard, no mustache, looking very young, talking about your first OBE. And
That was Steph and Jason there too.
yeah,
They're on tonight.
so that was fun to see a little passage from time back there.
That's funny.
Yeah, you look very good without your beard. You should shave that off.
I know. I know people say I look older, but I at this point I don't really care. I just want to find answers. This is my lazy look. This is my like I don't feel like spending energy time to try to shave up myself.
Well,
But thanks for the kind words, Marty.
well, you look good either way. So.
Thanks.
And I always feel kind of silly making this be some big monumental thing for you guys that have traveled, but I actually did get freaking out this morning. I actually did. But I need to, it was one of those, well, I guess it's better than nothing. So I hate to say that. So it's the good news and the bad news, but I don't want to take up a lot of time now, but maybe if we have time at the end, you guys can tell me. I actually had 2 events this morning. So we'll see what you think, get your take on it. So I will leave with that for now.
Okay. And Marty, towards the end, as we get towards the end, just remind me if I forget.
Okay.
Thanks, Marty. Hi, Steph.
Hello. So I met Larry. You remember Larry?
Larry. Which Larry?
Seth. INX.
From the 90 days.
Yeah. 90-day survivor that made it to 90 days.
Oh, Larry. Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
The only in-session projection.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes. What's going on?
But he's good. And he said to pass on that you've been spamming his email inbox with all of these Zoom events and you need to have an in-person event already.
Oh, in person, right. Well, hopefully one day. COVID free.
You fly down here.
I know.
So my insight of the day or week is I had a dream and it seemed kind of important, like not that big of a deal, but I felt the memory slipping away really fast, and I was trying to convince myself that I care. I really do care to remember this and write it down. And I felt like like a subconscious alter ego that was like, no, you don't care, like was unconvinced, and the memory went away, sure enough. And so maybe that's a project of mine, is to like personify the astral self, like the way Monroe was talking about having another self that's always in the astral. Maybe there is kind of a mopey me that doesn't feel appreciated. And like that intention keeps me from having full recollection. So it's just insight, something to ponder.
Yeah. Thanks, Steph.
Mhm.
Hi, Jace.
Hey, Juice.
What's anew?
Oh, well, keeping busy, but think I'm nearing the end of my pile, so I'll be able to dig in a little harder now. So that's where I'm at. Nothing super new to report, but getting close to it.
Getting some, as Monroe says in these chapters, getting some gifts ready to share with their theirs of some experience.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice. Get all that together, Jason. All those new experiences.
Sir, yes, sir.
Now drop and give me 10.
Is that all? Piece of cake. All right, later.
Hi, Julie. What's new?
Hello, all. What's new? Well, I was gonna say yes, Marty. I also saw. Funny enough, but I looked. Sorry, hold on one second. Sorry, guys.
Julie. Now we know what your dog's up to. What are you up to?
2 dogs. What am I? Well, I watched the discussion about the phase that you suggested. So I got to see you without the beard as well, because I never really checked out your Facebook page for some reason. But what pretty eyes you have. I can't tell because you're always so far away. But anyway.
Oh, thank you.
And then Susan, you were talking about dreams when I came on. And I'm curious to know if you shared how your dreams have changed over time, because I just was telling, who was I telling? Someone right before, my stepsister, right before this, that my dreams have really changed a lot since I've been practicing. So like they used to be the same old predictable kind of dreams, like I'd have the same old things, and now it's like these storylines. They're not really it's not really otherworldly, although I have had a couple otherworldly lucid dreams, but they're more like just the storyline. It's like, who wrote these movies? This is how, and I'm a part of it usually. I mean, I'm usually a character in there, but they're just fascinating. Like, whoa, this is like, could be a story somebody wrote and put it on TV or whatever. I don't know why I'm having these dreams now.
Yeah.
But
you know, when I used to, I mean, all my life I've called my dreams, I said they were panoramic in full color with sound, smells, everything. And all of the, just like you were talking about, all of these fantastic scenarios and things that it's like, how did your mind even create this dream?
Yeah.
But about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I guess, a year and a half ago, my dream state, the whole dream state changed. And I was aware, and I told a couple of people this, and I said, I don't feel like I'm really dreaming anymore, but I'm very busy when I'm asleep. What it feels like, because I can remember snippets of it. I can, with a dream, I have such good dream recall. It's just, I mean, I've got dream diaries. You know, I used to record my dreams all the time, until I just got tired of recording all of them. But it felt like, and what I said was, I'm living something while I'm sleeping. I'm living this. It doesn't feel like a dream. I know all of these people and I see them night after night after night, and there's this.
Oh, you do? Oh.
Yeah. And this has been going on for over a year now. There are dreams. Once in a while I'll have a dream that pops in, and I know what my dreams are, you know, that they pop in and they're very vivid. They're always very vivid, and but for the last year, the majority of my nights, it feels like I go to sleep and I'm just living another life. I'm living somewhere.
Interesting.
I'm aware of these people. I know the people.
Yeah, your parallel life, right?
Yeah. That's what it's like, and it's the
Gotta
strange.
be.
Yeah.
This one dream, I hope it's not my parallel life. There was a murder, and I was, smack dab in the middle of it. But it was weird to see all these different. And what's been interesting is like all of this neighborhood I was in. It was like such a diverse. That all the neighbors that came out because the cops were coming and all this stuff, and there was chaos, and it was like all different kinds of people that I imagined, I guess, in my dream life. An Asian couple, and then young kids, and then the black couple, and like a ton of people. Like it was a very diverse neighborhood wherever I was in my dream. But they're just kind of like just watching spectators, sort of like what's going on, like neighbors would. It was so bizarre. It was such a very, but it was like a movie, like almost. It was very dramatic, and I'm like, whoa, I gotta remember this one.
I know. Write it down. Keep that.
But unfortunately, when I came out of the stream, I immediately went into my techniques, because I knew I was coming out of a dream. So I went into my try to get out of body techniques.
Nice.
And I almost did. I mean, it was really, there was the vision where my first, so I'm practicing this thing that I learned from the phase now. So I'm going to go immediately to a mirror. I'm going to have at least one specific intention every single time. So it's easier for me I think it's going to be easier for me rather than not really have any direction. And I swear the mirror started coming into vision. Like that hasn't happened before the other time. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know, whatever happened, I either got too excited or I was too awake, who knows. But so I did try that, and then I tried to, do these other techniques to get out, but it didn't work. But anyway, so I did end up remembering some of my dream, which I was pretty impressed with. Maybe that's why I couldn't get out. I was still kind of interested in my dream, maybe.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's good when you keep practicing all this. Even if you don't have any out of body experiences, the dreams are so much more vivid and fun, I think, too. It's just like you wake up with such good feelings sometimes.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a good feeling. I was like, I felt like my heart rate was up, and my system was worked up a little bit. So that had an impact. Maybe that had an impact too on everything.
Cool.
Anyway, hi guys.
All right. Thanks, Julie. Hi, Kat. Thanks for that information that you sent me.
Oh, you're welcome. I thought that was
on the
pretty.
New York Times.
I didn't get a chance to read it. I just thought that, mainstream, New York Times.
Yeah.
And there it is. So I thought I'd pass it on. But I love working with dreams. That's primarily what I do. So I was very excited when I hear that other people are having more lucid dreams in connection to, trying to get out of body and doing that kind of thing. So I want to see where there's an overlap, because your unconscious, which in my opinion runs the show, is going to direct you in a variety of ways. And if that includes an out-of-body experience or an astral projection or a lucid dream, I'm really curious about that. And I'm enjoying listening to and hearing that other people are having more vivid dreams, more dream recall, because of, I just think it's important. And I think that there's an overlap and a connection to all of it. So I encourage you, if you're not having the out of body experience, at least keep a journal and record your dreams and look at them and see how they are. You play all the characters in your dream. I don't know if y'all know that. And sometimes when you have a nightmare or an unsettling or frightening dream, like the murder, it's your unconscious trying to get your attention. It's not for any other reasons. It's like, pay attention to this. And if I have to scare you to get you to pay attention, then that's what I'll do.
Hey, but now you're making I want to like spend time with you and share my dream life with you.
Oh, I would love it. I would just love it. My email address is actually dreaminterpreter@AOL. So you can message me or you can email me a dream, because I think they're really important. And I think that they are connected to the out of body. I'm not sure exactly how, but I feel like they are.
And Kat, since you brought that up, I was wondering what you guys think. Do you think part of our subconscious, or our subconscious, referring to Robert Monroe, is our I theirs influences? What do you guys think about that? Anyone?
Could you be more specific?
So like our subconscious influence in our life is actually our I theirs and our I thens, a combination of those.
Yeah.
As Robert Monroe puts it. Marty?
Yeah, I had a couple notes just about that, because on chapter 14, page 184, he said the I there is composed solely, SOLELY, of M. M as in there being outside of time and space, but within the M field. And then I looked at a couple places for definition of M, and the M is the part of the energy spectrum commonly used for thought. So I would suppose that the conscious and the subconscious would both be involved with thought. But the I there, which would be, the I there is your identity, right? I mean, that is what is you, me, Juice, Susan, etc. We are the I there, right? I mean, we're the I here and the I there. So we are composed of thought, right? I mean, that's
Right, with the separation of consciousness between the two until we all merge as one again.
many faceted.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when Monroe started getting glimpses when he started merging with these other theirs and stuff. And he felt he got the connection and he got the memories, overlaps and stuff like that. So yeah.
So then what else he said, I think it was on the same page, is those who are proficient in M technique. Now, would that mean what? I don't know. That you're good at thinking? I don't know. Rarely find the Earth life system applications worth the effort. There is more excitement elsewhere. So, we were talking about, I specifically was saying, why should we bother to want to come back to the Earth life system? And people were saying what the benefits or why we would want to. But he's saying that if you become proficient at it, then there is more excitement elsewhere. So here's the question. What is the excitement elsewhere that is better?
Yeah. Right. Maybe we'll get more answers later.
Yeah,
but a good question.
There was some really profound stuff there, in that.
Oh yeah, he gets into that. The people that have good control that the M energy are basically the ones that are running this planet or influencing it, as he says, the influencers of this planet. The 600 people that are really actually better than Monroe by far in this control of the M.
But I guess to be proficient, that would be like the height of meditation, where you are actually in control of thinking. Because I know with myself, you talk about monkey brain, I'm in control of my brain or my thought, this little wee bit, and it's bouncing around like a monkey.
Right. So. Yeah. So we're gonna get into more of that tonight. We'll hit on that.
I was thinking those same things though, pondering this dream, like, oh, I wonder if these are my past lives, or if these are parallel lives, or what is it? It's very interesting. Or if I just created it, with whatever's out there.
Yeah.
What's that, Susan?
It could be parallel. It could be parallel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's what I'm doing. Is just I'm living. When I'm sleeping, I'm living a reality that seems to be cohesive, and it seems to be something that is continuous night after night with the same characters and all this.
Well, yeah, I'll let you know if this continues. It's like continues. I'll find out what happened. Maybe we'll find out. Well, we knew who the murderer was. He was one of our friends, and he left. He took off. But anyway, yeah, it was a very interesting story. I should write it out. I did not write this one out, but because it wasn't a lucid dream. Yeah. But one lucid dream I did have was part of where it was beautiful. It was a beautiful city. It wasn't even a city. There were a couple structures, and it was just mostly nature. But it was filled with cartoonish character people. And there were some human-looking people too, and it was very strange. I'm like, whoa, I am coming up with these colorful after I woke up, but I don't know that I was just very having fun while I was in the dream. Like, oh, this is, but I didn't create them. That's one thing about this lucid dream. I woke up from a dream. I'm like, oh, I'm awake, and then it started morphing into this weird fairy tale land. So, but I didn't really control it. I was just kind of enjoying it, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, some dreams, I think some dreams are just meant to be fun too. Some dreams are just ridiculous. And I enjoy those. I just enjoy them.
Yeah. They were just very playful, happy cartoon characters, whoever they were. I'm like, this is a bizarre lucid dream, but okay, I'm going with it because this is fun.
Yeah. They're just fun. Some of them are just fun.
So this is a weird question. Could that have been a parallel life? How do we know what these other universes look like. Are there cartoonish looking creatures on other dimensions?
Well, as far as I remember hearing this story, I think it's true that George Lucas got his ideas from Star Wars from dreaming when he was in the hospital when he was sick at one point, and he had a lot of his ideas from that, from these weird dreams he was having while he was in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting. Oh, and
Yeah.
I did see you Steph too. I saw you in that discussion. Well, I recognized your voice immediately. And
Don't let Steph know that she was actually on camera though.
oh shoot, sorry.
No, I'm just no. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Julie.
And I did see you, Susan, on a different one because I noticed, oh, there's Susan, and then I played a little bit of it and there's your voice.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention that Susan too. She's on a few of them. She has her own. She did her own presentation for INEX around that time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read this here since Marty brought this up, and it just happened to pop up in my notes here, which she was talking about earlier. That there are about 6,000 physically living humans who can do what Monroe does and more. Most keep to themselves quiet and hidden and exert influence. They know that they cannot change the system and they don't wish to. They are content to enjoy themselves in the Earth life system, and the only influence they exert is to maximize their experience. They do not want their abilities to be known by anyone. So those are people with the M energy force that can wield this strange stuff here that's very powerful. Causes a lot of influence. Let's head into 14 here, chapter 14, the sum and the parts. So stop anytime, guys. I'm just gonna read off some notes here. In this chapter, Monroe returned to his eye there for a final question session. This is his final question session with his eye theres. It took only a blink of an eye for the contact to be made. That's how quick now he can phase into these areas. That blink of an eye. Monroe wants to know how far back his lifetimes or eye there goes, and sees thousands and thousands of lines, each glowing with energy extending outward in many dimensions from where he was. Monroe finds out what he is seeing is actually his connections in this lifetime. So many of them. He also finds out that some of them get lost in belief systems, and others who will be in and out of being human during the next 1,000 years or so. So he moves from one thing, I guess, into that actually this is during his lifetime, all these beings that he sees is influencing his lifetime, and he has a connection to them. Those are the ones that are lighting up his connections. And he's amazed to see how many connections he has. When Monroe gives the word to go, they shall all be assembled. He will know after he makes his exploration along the Interstate. When will he do that? As soon as it is clear of the concern about influences. So we go back to the Interstate here, and all the different exits that you get off on the Interstate, as it refers to. And he goes back into the influences again and stuff. So, any questions on that? After that, I read to you guys about the 6K that I just read there. There's 6,000 people. That's where that note came in. So that's what part of the book we're at now. And how many people have this M ability, which is a lot. Some people have it even stronger than Monroe does. And they just hide. They don't want their abilities known. And they don't care to show off or anything like that. And then Monroe learned some information about non-human intelligences. When Monroe finds an unknown, non-human intelligent, he and his connections will have a new home. So that's pretty important when he finds this out. Whatever Monroe encounters in his search, absolutely nothing can destroy him. Monroe is made up of M-field energy. So he's being told this by his eye there, that basically no matter what happens to him, who he encounters and stuff, they can never destroy him now. So that's the confidence he's riding on now with this M-field energy. If Monroe can't find anything or does not come back, oh, this is a little interesting here. Then Monroe will join the others, and there will be another one of him, and he will have to wait. So if he doesn't succeed here, he's gonna have to wait with the other eye theirs and watch the next one of him try to do it, try to find it. Monroe finds out that his inspect friend was himself. And when the information ran out, the inspect disappeared. So basically, he was helping himself. And once he couldn't help himself anymore, the inspect disappeared. And then he finally figured out why he disappeared. Then he gets back into the year 3000 again. And that is the date when they shall all leave. Do you guys remember that, when he traveled to the year 3000?
Yeah.
And the people got the signal that they were ready to leave? So was he time traveling there? Was Monroe the person who they were all waiting for the signal? Was Monroe the one? Does anybody... That's how I see it, but I don't know if that's true or not.
That's how I kind of figured it too.
Yeah.
Thought so too.
Okay.
Yeah, because he had said, he was going to have one more lifetime after this one, and it would be 1,000 years from now, and then that was it. So,
Right.
So it was like, yeah, once they're counting on him, all of these out there, all these eye theirs out there that are part of his greater being, whatever. They're waiting for this for him. He's the one that they're counting on. It would be something to know that you're the one that all of these aspects of yourself are counting on. Really put the pressure on you.
Yeah.
Really put the pressure on.
Yeah, in a couple places he says it would be the 35th century that the departure.
Right.
Yeah, the schedule for the Earth's departure is apparently the 35th century, but we cannot leave until we've gathered back all the parts of each eye there in our cluster, a massive task. So we shall be in the retrieval mode as needed, as parts of us drop out of the physical, bewildered and uncertain, or fall through a crack in a belief system.
Right, where they get lost in those.
Yeah, so again, all these are just parts of one individual, right? An eye there cluster is just one individual. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
So,
and if you listen to any of William Buman's stuff, you can see he's really big in these. I mean, he came from the Monroe Institute, the belief systems, indoctrinations and stuff like that. He's really strong about how this can affect you here. And you can see Monroe talking about this, how strong it is as well. How your eye theirs and other parts of you get lost in this. And it can take you many, many lifetimes to work your way out of these belief systems.
yeah. He differentiates, though, between a belief system and a great religion. So that was a little confusing to me. There were the belief system layer, and then there was the great religions layer.
Yeah, right. And I think I remember him talking about it. You stay in these until you feel like they don't fit you anymore. In these you can stay in there for countless, time, space, years until you get out of them eventually. Or you can have your eye theirs help you get out of them. Eye thens too. And I'm sure, and Monroe's an eye here, so he's helping people too as well get out of these things, these belief systems. Of so many stories in his past, helping them people who are lost after they die. And let's see here. So this will be the last meeting with the others. Oh, this is the last meeting with his eye theirs until Monroe returns now, towards the end of this chapter. And as they depart, his eye theirs, they give Monroe their love. That's the last thing they give him. And in Monroe's, I believe he says, what more do what I need? So here was Monroe, new direction, where the basic would be found. So does he find the basic? We'll see. And those are my notes for 14. Anybody like to say anything?
Quickly, my take on this chapter, well, actually all three chapters, but this chapter leading into the other two was this is we're seeing him, the object is to consolidate and find all of these, you can't leave one piece missing. It all has to advance together. It's like the sheep herder thing, the sheep, that sheep, the shepherd is not going to leave one sheep out there anywhere, or you raise animals, you're going to find that one that's missing, or those that are missing. And so that was kind of like what this is, sort of a tale of gathering and moving it all into this direction. And it's all on Robert, to get this right for them, for all of them.
Right. And I'm wondering if, Susan, if that one sheep did get left behind or died or something like that, get eaten up or whatever, does he then he has to help from the next area, the next field, and he has to help everybody else now in whatever area he moves into, hopefully.
Yeah.
Help the other sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a comment about, he talks about bonding on page 186, like bonding between two individuals, a husband and wife, or love, or something along, whatever. Because in a lot of Tibetan and other fields, they say you should not bond with people. Have any of you ever heard any of that? Anyway,
I have heard that. Yeah, I have heard that.
So he's saying that bonding affected between physical lifetimes is strictly M-field imprint. Now, that's one of those sentences that, like, it totally means nothing to me.
Yeah.
What does M-field imprint mean? But it continues between the individual their clusters. So it's bringing the clusters together. So you go and you're in your cluster, and you're bonded to someone in another their cluster, and then it brings the whole cluster closer together. It says it continues between individual their clusters during any mind consciousness state. Although after a short time, by Earth standards, Earth life system drops low in priority. So that's going back to that where we were talking about how they forget about the people they were bonded with after a while. We were talking about that.
Right.
And it says, however, the new bonding from life experience adds to the interactions between their clusters. The stronger the bonding, such as the love of major proportions, the closer the interaction between the clusters. So that was all in page 186 there in chapter 14.
It's almost like, how fast can you get this done? How fast can you round everybody up and get them back to the hole?
Yeah. Get them into through the aperture. Yep.
But he really doesn't talk much about, he's saying it brings the clusters closer together, but then, like, so what? Is that good for some reason? He doesn't elaborate on why that would be desirable.
Yeah.
That it would be.
He's going to mention more of that as we move on, I remember.
Yeah.
Why that's valuable.
You were talking about non-attachment, not getting attached to anything.
Right.
I think that's a Buddhist tenet that suggests that it's a way to not create karma, any kind of karmic debt. So if you maintain a disconnect from everybody and everything, you don't create karma, and you wouldn't have to come back lifetime after lifetime. I personally don't really agree with that, because I think that's I
think it's a fundamental part of a religion. Yeah, maybe it's the Buddhist, but I've heard that. That doesn't square with me though either.
Well,
we're supposed to make develop relationships and have love. That's
yeah.
I mean, that seems pretty. I don't know. That just seems intuitive. And
no, I disagree with it, because I think we're supposed to love one another, which is attachment, and the more the better, and the greater love. the better.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty narrow focus there, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monroe talks about that, how it all comes together as love is one of the main components.
yeah.
Well, it
Human
depends
love
on
is
your.
attachment. Human love is attachment. I think that love itself, is as a universal force, um, has nothing to do with attachment. But I think human love has everything to do with attachment.
Yeah, it depends on your goal. So a lot of Buddhists just want out. They do not want to come back at any cost.
Hmm.
And it's worth it to sacrifice pleasure and joy in relationships and marriage and children to guarantee that you're actually going to make it out this time.
Yeah, it's a
It's
path.
interesting that the Hindus and Buddhists, they all also have religious aspects that are similar to Christianity or other some of these fundamentalist kinds of religions. I never really realized that till recently. That, well, if you have to do this to get this, and you can't, you have to sacrifice this and that, which sacrifice love relationships. That's totally counterintuitive to our purpose. I feel like.
Yeah, well, maybe the ones that want to get out real quick have enough lifetimes here that they've been on Earth, and they have enough experiences to pass on to their theirs, and then to form the whole eventually. So they're done. They're done experiencing.
Well, somebody told me one time, they tried to tell me that religion was important because we travel in a spiral. Okay, so we're traveling in a spiral upwards, and the religions help us. That's our guides to travel through through all of the hazards of being human and stuff. And you have to travel. I said, I said, but that's the long way, the spiral. I mean, I know we're traveling, everything spirals upward, I understand that, but that's kind of, if you follow this dogma and these, no matter which one you choose, it is still the long way. You're doing, you're following the, what if I turn this spiral, like have a spiral like this, what if I just turn it up on its edge and I just climb up on the outside of it, metaphorically, just, yeah, that's if you're outside of religion or you're outside of a belief system, you do things a little bit differently. um you know so I don't haven't had anything to do with organized religion since I was a child. But I always saw it as a slow route. But it's not that way for everybody. I understand that a lot of people are very comfortable in within whatever organized religion they might belong to. I never was. I felt it was very restrictive. There were some good aspects to it, but it was very restrictive. And so, yeah, I thought, well, I'm going to strike out on my own. I was a child. But you do, that's what people do. You strike out on your own, however you can, and if it's, but a lot of people get a lot out of their religious practice. A lot of them are very severe. The Buddhist thing of like Kathy was saying, the Buddhist thing of non-attachment and self-denial and stuff. It's very strict. It's very strict, but there's a reason for it. It's a path, they choose, and it would be a very, very strict, very tough one to follow.
Yeah, as Monroe's big on that, Susan, about getting to the known.
Yeah.
With a capital K.
Yeah, just get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get there. Yeah.
Yep. For yourself. Joy?
I was just relating to what Susan said, because I got caught up in religion when I was 30, because I live in a conservative town with a lot of churches, and that's when I was pregnant with my first son, and it was just you raise your kids in church kind of a mentality. And then I got really drawn in, and I feel like looking back, of course, now I'm all the way out, but looking back, and I was in there for about 15 years pretty strongly, which is a long time. And because I was very committed, I was very involved, and I thought, this is how I'm going to get close to my creator. this love that I long for, this unconditional kind of beautiful love that I'll return to. So it had, for me, it had all this kind of, so it's like, oh yeah, there's this bad thing and this, you know, they have this strict thing and they have kind of twisted, screwed up views on this or that. But I overlooked all of that because I thought this was my pathway to love, basically. So I feel like it's hard. It's a little bit hard on when you get on the, you know, when kind of going through it at the end, for me anyway, thinking, wow, did I just waste 15 years of my life? But I guess, you know, you look back on something like that and it's like, that's what for me, that's what I had to go through to get to where I am now, you know? So I can't have regrets, even though, you know, there's baggage still left over, and a little bit of resentment, a little bit of feeling of like obligation to help people, you know, that seem so stuck, not get stuck there. So it's hard to not want to see someone, you know, going this direction, and you're just like, oh, you're getting stuck in this, and there's so much more. It's so hard. But anyway, yeah, religion. Ugh.
Yeah, Julie, imagine
Yeah.
imagine that when Monroe talks about when he sees other people who died or they're still living that get stuck for
Yeah.
hundreds or thousands of years in this, and it continues after they die.
Yeah. So I don't know if some of my other lives, how much I was involved in religion, but for this life, definitely religion has been a huge factor in my development. There's been a lot of learning lessons, a lot of kind of hard learning lessons related to organized religion. So hopefully I've learned my lessons and I won't be, I don't know, hopefully I'm helping my collective whole a little bit. Like, hopefully they're saying, you're doing a good job, keep going, keep moving forward. You know what I mean?
Your eye theirs are working hard on you, Julie.
Yeah, and I do worry about my friend. I have a lot of friends, family members that have, not a lot of friends that have passed on, but I mean, I have a lot of friends and family that are very ingrained in organized religion, some who have passed on, and I wonder, are they kind of stuck? You know, that makes me sad to think about that, but what do you do?
Yeah, Julie, your eye theirs right now are partying because they got you out of it, out of the 15 years. They're all celebrating.
Like, yeah.
We got her out of it. We got her out of the religion belief system.
Oh, that was a hard one because it's hard to get out of it when you're
Yeah.
that involved, when you're that invested, and it's your identity.
Oh yeah.
It's probably a necessary step because now you're able to work, you know, with other people. Like you were saying, you want to help other people to not fall into that same rut, you know? So it sounds like it was a necessary step for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody ever watched any of Leah Remini's shows on Scientology,
Yeah.
you talk about people being stuck, boy. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Susan,
And, yeah, so
oh yeah, who's go ahead, whoever's talking.
well, I was going to say the Outlaw
Oh,
Prophet. I don't know if you saw that movie, but about the fundamentalist Mormon thing.
Yes.
That's another one people really, really, really get stuck into.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cultish.
Yeah.
At its extreme, its most extreme, it's a cult, you know. At its most extreme, it becomes a cult.
I don't want to get sidetracked. I was just going to say, yeah, it is. You'd be surprised these quote unquote cult leaders. People do they're beloved. They're famous. They're writers. They're authors. They're speakers. And you know, like even in my little sweet church, my friend and pastor of 15 years said basically wrote me off and said I was, I was basically going to hell. And then at one time insinuated, sort of indirectly, that God was probably going to strike me dead for speaking against and contrary to his teachings. And when you have somebody that you respect and you love and you care for and you've been friends with and you raise your kids with and all of this stuff, that's really abusive. It was spiritual abuse, and it was so painful. And I know a lot of people go through that. A lot of
Yep.
people. I'm in a couple religious trauma groups.
Yeah,
And
scare tactics.
yeah, it's just like fear based. And then, but even though that broke my heart, it confirmed. It was another confirmation that this is a bad religious cult thing going on here, and they don't know it, they don't see it, and it makes me sad for them. But this is their journey too. They have to do their own journey to, it's only so much influence you can have.
Yeah.
Right. Alrighty, guys, chapter 15. We'll move into that a little bit. See what we find. Let's see, the beginning of this chapter, Monroe goes out of body through the phasing method, saying this is much the same as going to sleep, but without loss of consciousness. That's how he describes it. Monroe sees millions of tiny flashes of light moving in rite of passage in two directions, flowing inward toward and outward from where he had just emerged, each a human mind consciousness in transit. Inward from a fresh start of a new experience in physical life, outward to a predetermined sanctuary or a belief-driven illusion.
Yeah, could I mention a paragraph just before that? He talks about, just right before what you just read, it says, as he heads to the great beyond, which I really like that little phrase, the great beyond. He says, now above the earth, high enough to see the curvature. So he's actually looking at the physical earth, and higher, a huge globe, much as the astronauts saw it. So from what he's saying, and I talked about this before, that it's up. and there was a guy on there, the absolute truth guy, oh, there's no up, there's no down. It's like, well, yeah, I know, if you dug a hole deep enough, you'd go to China, right? And you'd be going down, and then it would be up. And I mean, so yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way. But from all of us standing here in the Earth life system on the surface of the Earth, it's up. I'd like to be able to look up and say, hey, Gary.
Right.
You were talking about how you didn't like to go down, Susan, that there isn't an up and down, but like maybe there is, like down towards the center of the Earth.
Yeah.
I've gone
out, going down. A lot of times I have done that. And it's fun. My favorite way is, I call it out. It's just out. I'm just going out there. I don't care if it's up. I don't care if it's down. I don't care where it's out. I'm out here.
But I mean, he's being really explicit here, talking about the curvature and then talking about seeing the whole globe, and then he's higher and higher, So I think, we live in the Earth life system, so we've got to see things from our viewpoint where we live. That's just my thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever been into another planet out of body? Anybody that's gone out of body? Have you ever stood on another planet and looked back at the Earth?
Have you, Susan?
Yeah, once. The moon. Actually, yeah, I went to the moon. I wanted to know I wanted to see the sunrise over the Earth. I just wanted to see how that looked from there. It was just awesome. It was just awesomely beautiful. If there's something that's really beautiful, that's a real draw for me to get out of body, especially when my children were little. I wanted to show them things. Once when they were elementary school, probably just first and third grade, maybe something like that. Early one morning, I got out of body, and I had never been to Monument Valley. I never have been there except out of body. but I wanted to go there. And I took off and I started going. And I thought, wait, I'm going to go back and get my kids. And I'm going to take them because I want them to go to Monument Valley with me. And I did. I went and I pulled them out of body. So I had both of them. And we're all going and we sail over Monument Valley. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's just breathtakingly beautiful. We come back and just over each bed, just plop, plop, just let them go back in. They never remembered a thing. They never remembered it. But it was beautiful, and I tried, but yeah.
What a cool mom.
Yeah, the beauty of things draws me sometimes, just the beauty. And I'm curious about beauty off the planet. So I was really curious about that. I wanted to see the Earth from the moon and to see the sun, in relation to the Earth. It was really beautiful. But I've only done it once.
Amazing.
But it's no harder than going anywhere on this planet.
It's easy for you to say.
It's really not. It's just it's just another destination. Yeah, it's just another destination.
Right.
I gotta say goodbye, guys.
Oh, Steph, no.
It's a really cool story. Thank you so much for sharing, Susan.
You're welcome.
All right, Steph, be safe. Have a good time.
Bye.
Eager.
All right, so as he is seeing all this stuff go on with all of these lights and stuff going in and outward, he phases through the Enfield spot where he used to meet his inspect friend, which is now just blackness. So imagine all the times you get to meet your friend there, and now it's just blackness and there's nothing there anymore. And he realizes that was himself that he was meeting. Yeah. So Monroe then goes beyond the human thought influence, but for the first time after passing this area, he doesn't feel lonely. So all the times he used to pass this spot, he would feel lonely. The human thought influence barrier. And then Monroe should be getting close to KT95 soon, but not to stop. He's just going to pass through it. If you guys remember back in the day, KT95. And then Monroe...
Wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Susan?
That was what he wanted. He thought he wanted to get back to KT95. That's where he wanted to. Yeah, I thought he wanted to go back there and stay.
Yeah, and he didn't. Right. Yeah. That's where all the music and the love and the clouds and everything. Right.
Dishes and yeah.
And then Monroe meets up with Marinon. And Marinon is somebody who used to be channeled at the Monroe Institute. And this entity had serenity and clarity that helped the Monroe Institute out. He actually met up with somebody that they used to channel with other people at the Monroe Institute. You can actually do a search for the name Marinon, and you can actually hear when they actually channeled this entity. So you can do a search on the Google for that, and you can actually listen to it live when it happened.
Is that Miranon?
Yes. Yeah, I'll type it in the chat area there in case anybody wants to look that up later. But it's a nice listen, and that's with the Explorer series. That's who channeled. So now Monroe asks Marinon if we are gathering together the parts of us up and down in time from belief system to belief system. We cannot leave until we gather all in. So there they go, up and down the belief systems, gathering everybody, which we've been talking about here tonight. Another confirmation of that from somebody that was so precious to the Monroe Institute. And once they do this, it's not the end. We keep moving onward and to higher levels. It's not over after that. You just keep moving up, according to Marinon. Marinon says Monroe should go back to KT95 and look at the source there. And before going backwards, Monroe heads out a little further and meets someone identifying themselves as Lord the God. The God challenges Monroe a few times and is able to shake the god off eventually. So he was able to shake the god off. And this kind of reminded me of like the Buddha story when Buddha met Mara and he had to shake Mara off to get enlightenment. So it seemed like, and if you guys, it's a good part of the book there when he's conversing with God there. That's identifying himself as God, and how dare Monroe challenge him.
Yeah,
And basically, yeah.
God. Yeah.
And this is at the far reaches of where he usually goes. This is like the real edges of his area when he phases out. He meets his God. And I think what did the God say one time too? Like the God says, "You're just a slice of me," something like that. You're just a slice. You're just nobody, basically. And how dare you? And all this stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But Monroe shook him off. So Monroe, after that little incident, he heads back to KT-95, resting in the good old clouds again. The origin, realizing there is nothing more there as he's doing this. Then Monroe starts to experience himself as a whole when suddenly he feels many pieces of himself separating, going in and out of memories and starting to forget his human earth life like a dream. So now it's going the opposite. Now he's starting to forget about earth, and this is all that is to him. So like as we forget about dreams as they dissipate, now his earthly life is starting to dissipate and starting to disappear. I thought that was a pretty cool twist. Monroe then is shown a emitter for an energy beam that creates dreams, or you could say a hologram from an aperture. So this is, now he's showing what this whole illusion is being created from. This machine that's emitting this energy. Was the whole distributing parts to grow, to reproduce, and then to add to the whole? These are all questions he's asking. What happens to us when we enter and rejoin the whole? Monroe is giving a rope on the probable result, in which he has to unravel when he heads back. So now he's starting to question what happens when he gets everybody together and he becomes whole again. Then what? Monroe now has to wake back up in the dream and make one more run to the other end of the circle, he's told. Monroe, on his way to the circle, describes the emitter as the Big Bang. So he kind of compares what the emitter is doing is the Big Bang, which is described to your theory. So now Monroe eventually is told to get back to his body as soon as possible because his uplink broke, which cut him off from his physical body. He has to get back fast or lose his body, and it's not the right time for him to die. So now he's being told about this. He's been gone for so long and the uplink is gone. His physical body's starting to fade away. He finally gets back into the physical, and his body was cold, his blood pressure very low. His pulse rate was low. His muscles were stiff. It would take several days to get them back into reasonable operation. Now back, Monroe can remember the unlimited freedom without it fading away like a dream. And he knew, with the capital K, that he had the missing basic, finally. So all of the times, I guess, in the past when he got out, a lot of experiences this far out would fade away in this reality. Now it's being held on to. Near the end of the chapter, Monroe is looking around at all the wonders around him, and he would like to meet the original designer one day. I got something here I want to read on page 217. This is when he got a rope from KT-95 area, and he started unraveling it. This is one of the things that came out of it. We know this well. It can be said in your words. There is no beginning. There is no end. There is only change. There is no teacher. There is no student. There is only remembering. There is no good. There is no evil. There is only an expression. There is no union. There is no sharing. There is only one. There is no joy. There is no sadness. There is only love. There is no greater, there is no lesser. There is only balance. There is no stasis, there is no entropy. There is only motion. There is no wakefulness. There is no sleep. There is only being. There is no limit. There is no chance. There is only a plan. This is as we know it to be. So this brings my notes to an end on chapter 15. Anybody would like to add? Questions? We have about 15 minutes left. I want to hear what Marty has to say about her experiences, so make sure we don't run out of time. So Marty, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Well, thank you, because I do want to get you guys' take. And, you know, after you hear like what Susan did going to the moon and everything, it's just sad. But it's been like a dry spell for a month. And so I think maybe what helped me, but what may have also hindered me, is I ended up having a little bit of Phenergan last night. Phenergan is a drug that is, you familiar with it?
Oh yeah, I can't take it.
It's an antiemetic, meaning it stops nausea and vomiting. It's a travel sickness, motion sickness. But what it does for me is it puts me in this cozy spot. It evidently doesn't work like that for you, Susan, but that, you know, that sweet spot that we look for where you're just not aware of your body anymore. You're so comfortable that you're just cozy. And that it does that for me.
Cool.
But it may also have slowed me down. So anyway, this morning, well, I set my alarm for 3:30. That didn't work. And then I woke up at, I don't know, like 8 o'clock or something, because I didn't get to sleep till after midnight. But so I'm in this sweet spot and I'm running. Do you pronounce that, Michael? Is it Raduga? Is that how you say his name?
Mm-hmm.
Raduga.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm cycling through the wiggle hands, rub hands, swim, peer, listen, you know, and then I'm adding a few more things we do, trying to climb the rope, trying to do all this stuff. So I'm cycling and cycling. So finally, yay, it's like I float up and it's this, and practically every time that I have managed to get out, it's a really intense, strong physical feeling. It's not like I'm just there. I can feel it going, like really strong. So my whole body's just like floating up. So I head for the mirror in the living room, which is what Raduga says to do. Go look in the mirror, and it's 20 feet, more than 20 feet away from my physical body. Go look in the mirror. There I am. Okay. And then it's like, I'm getting the heck out of here before I get sucked back in. So I didn't even bother to go for the door. It's like, I'm just going to go right through the glass, the sliding glass door. And I actually heard glass breaking when I went through, which I thought was really wild. So right through the glass. But then, of course, it wasn't my neighborhood. It was like a typical, all these same neighborhoods they build all over the country now that are like 2-story houses. They got sort of the pseudo French provincial roof, manicured lawn and all that. So now here's what was really weird is I'm going along like a zombie, got my arms out in front of me like this, and I'm floating off the ground a couple inches, just having trouble moving. I felt like so sluggish. Like, and you know how I usually go like cannonball, you know, when I come out, well, this is like, I'm barely, I'm trying to keep moving. And a couple of guys came along and now I'm like stopped and I'm standing there and they're like, what are you doing in here in this yard? And I said, well, I'm sleepwalking. I came up with that. I thought that was pretty smart. Now, never mind me. I'm going back. So I turn around and I'm walking back. And then I was back in my body. So it was sort of like, that was a real disappointment, you know, but then it's like, I'm still in the sweet spot, you know, I'm still in my cozy spot. So it's like, I'm going to try and head out again. So this time I like dove, and now I ended up in a mental institution, was like a sanitarium. And, but now I'm flying, I'm doing somersaults and I got a chock full of energy and I'm flying around and there's people there working and they can't see me. You know, I was, they couldn't see me. And then I kept testing, and it's like I'd stick my hand through the wall, stick my hand through the ceiling, you know. I went through a couple people just for the heck of it. And then I was poking them to be devilish, and they're going, you know, but they didn't know, they couldn't see me, so they didn't know what it was. And that was really mean of me, but it was so fun. That I'm poking them. And then I had a foil. I don't know if any of you have ever taken fencing or if you've seen a fencing foil. It's not like a sword that's a heavy duty sword. They're kind of lightweight and sort of thinnish. So I had that. So I'm playing with that, and it could go through anything. So I'm whipping that thing around and poking things and so on. And for some reason, I didn't seem to be able to go outside, but I kept testing. And then I thought to myself, well, am I astral traveling or am I in a lucid dream? Now, obviously, it was one of the two because I was conscious that enough to ask that question. And then I thought, well, if this is just a lucid dream, then how about, can I conjure up Gary? Because I'd like to see him, you know, my husband. And no, it was, I only got what I got. It was the mental institution and the people working there. So that sort of led me back to, this is an AP, but that's the thing. That was it. That was all there was. So tell me, guys, the first one was for sure an out of body, because I felt the strong, that I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but there's this strong feeling of separation. But the sluggishness, I'm not sure if what that was all about. I know reading that Astral Dynamics, he was talking about there isn't like a one size fits all OBE, that you have these different bodies. And then I know he was talking about one that was so sluggish it could barely move. So I don't know if that was that one. So go ahead, tell me, give me your take on this.
Can I just ask before we answer, what was your clarity in both? Like, but 100%, 50%?
Okay, when I first went to the mirror, it was a little cloudy, and I did say clarity now. And after I went through the glass, I also said it again, and then everything was perfectly clear after that. It was a started
really?
off
100% visual,
yeah,
and
100%, yes.
physical. Wow.
Just as clear, or just like the other time, even more clear, more real than physical.
And the second time?
The second time also 100% clarity.
Wow. But you were still sluggish. Oh, okay.
Well, the first one was sluggish. The second one, I was flying around like I was just having the final time.
Huh.
Doing flips in the air. And
Susan?
I know Susan raised her hand, but since I'm talking, but I just want to say something. Did you have this last night? Or
this morning?
Because last night or this morning, well, I don't know if it was last night or this morning, I was doing Michael Verduga's techniques, because I just learned about him recently and I started trying his techniques. And for the first time, I thought to myself, you know what? If I find a mirror, I'm not even gonna bother look for a door. I'm gonna go right through it. I said that last night or this morning. I can't remember when I said it, but it was for my session. I was like, I'm gonna go, if I find a mirror this time, I'm gonna go just fly right through it. I'm not even bother. So anyway, I thought that was weird that you had that experience that I was sort of thinking about.
I'm going to tell you real quick, Julie, I did that. Doing way back, I decided to go through the mirror and went to another area, a whole different area. I'm going to let Susan.
Yeah, the mirror thing. Yeah, anytime that I've ever done that, I've always wound up someplace other than I intended to go. It's a strange thing. It's almost like it's a little dimensional doorway or something. But I was going to tell Marty about the
sluggishness
body, the sluggishness that you had. Yeah, I've had that. I mean, I think everybody that's done a lot of out of body stuff, you experience that from time to time. I'm not sure. I do think that it has to do with perhaps how you get out of body, which chakra you go out from, or whatever. But it also has to do with how much substance, how much of a body you've put out, because I've had it so bad before that I'll go out of body and just go right down, almost like I'm just weighted, and I go right down and I just bounce on the floor around the room. And it's like I'll try to take off and it's just like boom, 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 and I'll have to go back in and get back out in a lighter form if I don't remember to send substance back along the cord. Now, that's the thing that you can do. You were out of body. This was out of body with you. You know, you were just, yeah, I don't think it was a lucid dream either time. I think you're just out of body, period. And you're just, you know, you're starting to get your feet sort of out of body. You're doing it. And, but yeah, you can, if you get into a situation where you feel like you're heavy, like maybe you can't go through a wall, or you can't do something because it feels like your body is a little clumsy or sluggish or whatever, you can send, you just have to do it mentally. You just send energy back to your body along your cord, makes your astral body a little bit lighter, almost like a helium thing. You know, it's like you're sending this physical, this substance back, and your astral body becomes lighter and lighter. And the further you go, the lighter you want that the astral body needs to be to go, seems to be. And if you put your hands on the cord, you can feel the energy going back into your physical body again. But I think that maybe that's it. It's just the sluggishness. It's not that you were definitely out of body, but that's very common thing to experience that once in a while, where you just, but it's funny because it's almost like I felt like I was just this old helium balloon that's been blown up for days, you know, and they start to lose their buoyancy, you know, and then just boom, boom, boom across the floor, just bouncing across the floor. And if I don't remember how to do it, I'll just go back in and get back out. And then the second time you went out, you had this energy, you know, you went out apparently in a different way, and you had all this energy. So yeah, I think you went out both times.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marty, I was going to ask you, the Mental Institute, is that a place you know of that's near you?
No, I did not recognize it at all.
Okay, because you could go verify if there was one close to you. You could probably go there and see if you recognize anything.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But if you went there, Marty, make sure they don't keep you in there. Make sure they let you back out.
Don't tell them what you're doing.
Yeah, don't. Right, Susan. Don't tell them what you're doing.
Yeah.
And don't maybe not bring your friend who always spies on you during these meetings. We always see your alien behind you.
Yeah, imagine that, Marty. You walk in there and you're like, is there somebody that works here that looks like blah, blah, blah? Yeah, how do you know that? Oh, I left my body last night. Okay, lock her up. Lock her up.
See if there's a bruise where I was poking, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had a friend that went to see the shaman that I told you about that I saw once, and now my sister who sent me to the shaman, she's gone, and her daughter and her ex-boyfriend and her mom, and but her ex-boyfriend just went, and he was told that he, in his other life, he was an alien, and that he has alien higher self, an alien higher self, or something of that nature. I thought that was interesting.
So
of
maybe,
yeah. Of all the lives we've had, I always think, well, maybe we've had at least one incarnation on an alien planet. I don't know, been an alien.
Yeah, Robert Monroe is saying that in the book, the non-physical, non-human influence of I there. I think did he say he had one he found out about? He has one non-human, non-physical I there.
There was one in the group, yeah.
Yeah, one group.
One in that group that he said was non-human.
Right.
Yeah.
Michael Newton, if any of you guys ever read any of his stuff, also talks about, he calls them hybrid souls that are that have alien roots, and says that they oftentimes find Earth to be too rough. The Earth life experience is one of the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, the shaman said that your alien, I don't remember all the specifics, but your alien guides, I don't know what he called them, are very proud of you, of what you're doing on Earth. They're really proud of you to be able to do all of, you know, And it's like and to be honest, you look at my human life or his human life, and you think, well, it's just basic. What are we doing? What are we doing so special? But apparently, you know, like you were saying last time, Juice, they kind of look at our lives and go, whoa, you did Earth, huh? Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I told
interesting.
someone that the other day, and they said that doesn't help me now. No, I still don't know why I'm here and why I chose to do this. But yeah, it's a hard place. And that's
Oh, sorry guys.
apparently what I'm doing.
Yep. Well, congratulations, Marty, on that, and I hope it leads into a lot more in the next few weeks. We'll see, right?
Yeah, well, I always feel like that'll be the last one I'll ever have.
No.
But
Yeah.
Now you
try.
Yeah, get that confidence. That it just builds on your fear factor and your confidence.
Yeah, congrats. That was a good one.
So I want to go. Yeah, I want to get out beyond here, like all you guys get to do.
Oh, by the way, I totally related to what you were saying. By when you left your body, it was I've done that twice now, and it was very physical, very obvious. The way you described it. But then I didn't go anywhere. I just went right back to my body. So see, you did amazing.
And when you came back to your body, Marty, you woke up right away and knew you were out, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
See, that's great when that happens. You got back to your body and you wake up and it's like, yep, because you actually, that part is satisfying to me. When I say, okay, it's time to go back to my body, or I get pulled back and I instantly wake up realizing exactly where I was.
Yeah, not that I've had so many. I guess about 8 or something now, intentionals, but I always have full memory and very that stick with me. It doesn't fade. It's one time I felt like when I went back to my body, like I actually felt my bones like jar,
Right. But they, I mean, if you can write them down for me, and I don't know about you guys, but they will fade, even though how profound they were. They will start getting distorted and stuff as time goes on. It's like, how could you ever forget this? But now when I look back at my first ones, they get distorted and I have to go back to my notes.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep. Okay, guys. Well, it's 8:30. We're not going to make it into chapter 16, so we'll add that to Friday. So we'll do 16, 17, and 18 on Friday. Close that down. And would anybody like to have any final words for the night?
When I come back on Friday, I'll try to have some of the exercises from the Astara booklet. I'll send them to you before, Juice, so you can put them up. I don't know how to do that. I'll send them to you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thanks so much, Susan.
Susan, do you still try on a regular basis to project?
I don't try because I just go. But if I want to go out of body, what I do is go and lie down and count on it. I'm either going to be there for 30 minutes or I'm going to be there for 3 or 4 hours until I'm out. But I'm going to get out. It's going to happen. But I'm mostly because I've spent so many years just playing with this and having fun with it before I got serious. I got into some serious reasons for being out of body and things that I could do as a service out of body. And so generally I wait until there's a signal. There's like a little signal that tells me I've got to go out, I've got someplace I have to go. And I may feel it when I'm walking in a store or whatever. I can feel it and I really need to get somewhere quickly, because when I get the signal, it means that I just have less than 5 minutes and I need to be out of body. And it's usually because there's been an accident, there's been a natural disaster, something like that. And so I've kind of waited because the one thing that astral projection, the one problem that I've had over the years is insomnia. I mean, just major insomnia, because it actually started in childhood, but when I spent a lot of time practicing astral projection in the daytime, and I might spend 3 hours a day doing this when I was in my 20s and 30s, every day, 5 days a week. And then I would also go out of body again at night when I went to bed. So I was doing this a lot. Yeah, and my insomnia became worse and worse because I was spending all of this time in this altered state or out of my body, and your body's just basically lying there sleeping, waiting for you. So it made my insomnia so bad that I kind of wait for the signal. If I something that I want to do and I want to get out of body, I will go. But I have to just say, okay, no matter how long it takes, don't disturb me, because when I come out, I'm through. You know. But I kind of wait for a signal now, unless there's something that I really, really want to see, or something that I really, really want to effect. Like I said, during all this political turmoil and stuff, I've gone out of body a lot of times just to try to get some bearings and see what was true and what was false and all of this stuff. So I used it more for that. But yeah, but for fun, I don't do it just, for fun so much anymore. I think of it in a more serious way because I just had so many years to have so much fun with it. And I think that's important. I think that's just majorly important when you're going out of body, to allow yourself to have fun. And don't worry if you go up and pinch somebody or goose somebody or something. That's fun. That's just part of it. Marty, when you were saying you did that, that's just what we do. That's what we do. And all of it is experiential. It's all building this muscle, that we're using to be effective out there.
Have any of you ever tried to do like what Michael Raduga talks about and try taking, healing yourself of something? Like tendonitis or whatever.
I have.
You take a tonic, like this tonic is going to heal me, and you take it, and then you have that sort of, somehow it ends up healing you.
I've gone out of body before. I was having some really bad back pain. I've done it multiple times, but the one that I remember the best, I was having some very bad back pain. It was about 30 years ago, and I got out of body, and it was my intention to go out of body and get up and look back at my physical body in a different way and see if I could see energetically what was happening there, and try to send energy back into my body, which I did try to do. But I could see colors. I could see myself, my form on the bed, but it was all in colors. And where the pain was it was just angry red. There's this reddish orange light, and I could see exactly. It's all this inflammation knotted up there. And so I tried to send energy into myself or whatever, but it was, for me, it was more just being able to see it, brought me an understanding of the problem. The energy part, I still hurt when I woke up. I wasn't effective in making the pain go away, but I was able to see it and understand what it was energetically. And it was just this knotted up mess of inflammation and muscle tissue and stuff, but it was visual to me.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, guys, I'm gonna do a thing too coming up soon, since we're in the book so much. The CIA released files and stuff on the Gateway program and all that. So I'm gonna find all these documents, put them together for the group, and then I want to have a discussion on them as we read them and see how this relates to what we've read and what the CIA released and how it compares to what Mike Monroe's saying in his books and stuff. So I want to do that, kind of tear into that a little bit. Alrighty, thanks everyone for sharing. Thanks Marty for sharing your out of body. Congratulations. And Friday will be the next meetup. Same time, and then we'll just add this chapter in and add 2 more. So it'll be 16, 17, and 18, I believe, right? So yeah, 16, 17, and 18 on Friday. Thanks. Good night, everyone.
All right, see you, everybody.